Hi guys, welcome to my video. This time we're going to talk about a cool and famous poet of the Victorian era, namely Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Who is she and what are her works? Let's dive straight to brief, concise, and clear. So Elizabeth Barrett Browning was born on March 6, 1806 in Durham, England. Since childhood, she was already skilled at writing poetry, but unfortunately, her health was weak. It said she had lung problems that made her often sick. Nevertheless, her talent couldn't be overlooked. At the age of 14, she began publishing poems in literary magazines. Then, in 1838, her poetry collection titled Poems appeared and was very successful in London. From there, she got to know Robert Browning through correspondence. In 1846, they married in secret, even though Elizabeth's father did not approve of this elopement. After marrying, she moved to Italy and was more productive in writing. One of her most popular works is, of course, Sonnets from the Portuguese, published in 1850, which is a collection of romantic sonnets for Robert. Besides that, Elizabeth was vocal about social issues. She criticized slavery and child labor exploitation through poetry. Unfortunately, she passed away on June 29, 1861 in Florence, Italy, but her works are still popular today. Well, earlier was learned briefly about Elizabeth's biography. Now, let's get to know famous works she created. Number 1 is How Do I Love Thee, Sonnets 43. This is part of Sonnets from the Portuguese, 1840, truly heart-bending sonnets. The second is If Thou Must Love Me, Sonnets 14. Also, is Sonnets from the Portuguese. The point is, don't love just because of appearance, just love because of the soul. Number 3 is Aurora Lake, a long poetic novel published in 1856, a blend of narrative and social critique. Very cool. Number 4 is The Cry of the Children, a social protest poem from 1843 discussing the working condition of child laborers in factories during the Industrial Revolution. And the last is A Musical Instrument, a short poem from 1844 reflective about art and the soul of the artist. In short, if you like literature and that combines social critique or deep love, these 5 works are a must check. Okay, earlier we already knew briefly Elizabeth's works. Now let's dissect the characteristic and cool elements of one of her sonnets titled How Do I Love Thee, Sonnet 43. I will divide it into 5 parts, namely basic characteristic, whole symbolism, sound device, figurative language, and additional sound device. First, type is basic characteristic. Well, first in this section is the type of poem. The type of poem of the sonnets is an Italian sonnet, also known as a Petrarchan sonnets. Then, second is the number of stanza. The number of stanza is 2 stanza, an octave consisting of 8 lines plus a sextet consisting of 6 lines. Then there is the number of lines, which is 14 lines. Next is the number of syllables per line, which is 10 syllables in the iambic pentameter pattern, and traces 5 times. Finally, the dim. Now, the dim is eternal love that transcends space, time, and even that manifested through immeasurable ways of loving. Now, move on the second type, which is whole symbolic or representation. First, in the depth and breadth and height section, this is a symbol of 3-dimensional space, indicating that her love is vast, deep, and high, or you could say unimaginable in size. Then in the my soul can reach ends of being an ideal grace section, the soul is portrayed as able to reach existence and divine grace. It suggests that love her is not only worldly but also mystically and spiritual. Next, in the to the level of everyday's most quiet need section, tells us that love is also in the simplest things, bread, smiles, everyday sweet. And finally, in the I shall but love three better after that section, this is a symbol of eternal love that even increases in depth after that. So, overall, the symbols give the impression of three layers of love, namely the abstract or spatial dimension, depth, breadth, height, the everyday life dimension, bread, smile, sweet, and the metaphysical or death dimension or post-life love. Moving on to the third type, namely sound device. First is tune or mood. The tune is honest, devoted, and humble. There is a touch of religious or spirituality due to the priest's ideal grace. Then there is the rhyme type, which is slant rhyme, imperfect rhyme. This rhyme uses ending sounds that are similar but not identical 100%. For example, waste and grace same vowel A, but different consonant Z and S. The effect is that it makes the poem feel smooth and natural, not too forced like a perfect rhyme. Then, for the rhyme scheme, it is ABBA, ABBA, and CDC, DCD. This is typical of an Italian sonnet. And octave. First, 8 lines. ABBA, ABBA. This pattern creates a reflective and harmonious atmosphere. Sextet, last 6 lines. CDC, DCD. Provides contrast and an elegant closure. The overall effect is structural but emotional, suitable for a deep and serious love poem like this. For mood, it is warm and intimate. If you read it, you feel like she's talking to a close friend. Then in the part of after that, the mood becomes solemn and reverent. Moving to the fourth type, which is figurative language. First is metaphor. In the line depth and breadth and height, this means love is likened to three-dimensional space. And then in the line breadth of all my life, this makes breath, smiles, tears into physical tools to express love. Next, for personification, first is in the line my soul can reach ends of being an ideal grace. These abstract concepts are treated as if they can be reached by the soul. Moving to hyperbole, present in the line I shall but love thee better after that. This exaggerates that after that her love becomes even deeper. Then implied simile. She says, my love is wide, deep, and high, without using like or as, but essentially compares love to spatial dimensions. Then repetition. In the line, I love thee, repeated 6 times, reinforcing how sincere and varied her ways of loving are. Now, moving to the additional sound device, alliteration, assonance, and repetition. First is alliteration. In the line, let me count the ways the L in let and the initial soft sounds in let me produce smoothness. Then, in the line, smile, tears of all my life, the soft S in smiles, framed by the T in tears, give a gentle nuance. Then the second is assonance. In the line when feeling out of sight, the vowel E in feeling and psych creates a sad melancholic resonance. And in the line depth and breadth and height, the vowels A and E in those words blend into a soft sonority. And the last is repetition in the line I love thee. This is the chord that makes this sonnet always stick in the mind. Then in the line after that and better in the final stanza, repeated semantically, making the meaning hit even harder. So guys, that was a short biography of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, her 5 famous works, and a cool analysis of the sonnet How Do I Love Thee, Sonnet 43. I hope it's useful for those of you looking for literary inspiration or just wanting to broaden your knowledge. Like this video and don't forget to comment and subscribe. See you in the next video. Ciao, bye bye.